Hello.
Hold on. So, today's topic is what is your relationship with self-awareness? Okay. So, again, it's going to be interactive. And it's a little difficult topic to understand. So we will ask many, many, many questions. We will try to understand with examples. And let's make use of becoming more self-aware. So, what is self-awareness? Who can tell me?
Self-awareness is to be aware of your
Aware of your soul nature. Become aware of your soul nature.
Your nature.
Soul nature. Our soul nature.
Soul nature. I don't even know what is my soul, Pala. And
Maybe
for me, soul is very theoretical.
Okay.
And I don't even know that nature of my soul. But that's a good way of putting it. I understand. Anna.
I think it's knowing yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Being aware of whatever is coming up and, being very mindful of your actions and your thoughts. And that comes only after a lot of hard work. I mean, doing a lot of work. You're not born like that, I think.
Yeah. And you know what? Both you and Pala are right. So self-awareness has different levels. Just like how you said it comes after a long time. True. Self-awareness always starts with understanding who I am. And when you start growing a little more, you will start understanding yourself at the soul level. That is like too much of sadhana, effort and all that. I don't know whether we will reach in one life to know at the soul level what we are. Anna, you have something to say?
But I think everybody will never understand their soul level unless you're not in the healing, in that path, you will never get to know.
Yeah, that's why I said it depends on different levels. Okay, now all of us are here. We have done pretty good amount of work. We have been at least in groups where we have been hearing a lot of things. And as a consequence of that, or as a side effect, let's say, we would be understanding a bit of self-awareness would have come to us. No doubt about it. Plus, if you look at the current scenario in the whole world, self-awareness of the collective consciousness is increasing. The very fact we are all interested in being in here and taking part in many of the programs are all because of the self-awareness. Lots and lots of people are doing a lot of work. Everything is because we are all growing in terms of self-awareness. So, self-awareness is kind of an introspection, okay, of your own behavior, thoughts, feelings, and maybe even your physical sensations. Okay, let's just give an example. In the physical sensation, if one little part of your body throbs or pains or aches, probably earlier you wouldn't have noticed it until it became too much for you. Okay, little bit of a knee pain, let's say, then you'll think, what happened? Maybe yesterday I did some little bit of exercise. Okay, over, leave it. And maybe it continues after 2-3 days. Then you'll think that, oh my gosh, the knee is paining. But after attending many of these things, any bit of your body aches and pains, you tend to think, what's happening to me here? Where is it coming from? It naturally happens, right? We are programmed. So self-awareness is also programmable, maybe in a good way. So these sensations, behaviors, suddenly we start becoming mirror for ourselves. That is when you are becoming self-aware. And many of the problems you become mirror for yourself, that time itself you will let it go. Just we need to be aware. Just we need to realize what we are doing. And that's huge teacher. And we will let it go. Okay? So this is at the basic level. Pay attention to who you are and what your behavior, sensations, and impulses, feelings, thoughts. These are all at the very basic level. At the complex level, self-awareness involves at your deeper beliefs. And let's say that you do a therapy and then you realize, oh my God, in my past life, I had this life of kind of a guilt life, and that is a guilt I have it right now. This is too deep, isn't it? It cannot be understood normally. So, lot of such things which are deeper meaning, which is at the soul level then, right? And why my inner child is behaving. I mean, why I am experiencing this? Because of my inner child, inner wounds. And why do I have this problem, illness? Because of this. Why do I have these patterns? Because of whatever. So what happens is, you'll start understanding what you're made up of. That is so much different from your own thoughts, feelings, impulses, behaviors. Of course, they also have deeper layers. But what I'm trying to say is, you'll start decoding why I am like this at a higher level. That is a deeper understanding of self-awareness. Or let's say that's a spiritual self-awareness. And the more self-aware you are, the more you will feel complete and whole. And as a consequence of that, you will have good relationships because you won't be doing this pattern anymore. You will change your behaviors because you know that how that is affecting you. And you will let go of a lot of trauma, so that way you will have physical health will be better. And maybe you will change your life to be a contributory life instead of being busy in your personal issues. So when you start doing the self-awareness, all of these good things starts happening to you. Okay? So you feel, naturally you feel that there is value to you. You know, when you are becoming more aware. So you will become more positive. You will be more confident in your situations. And your negative habits and mindsets, you will let it go. Money will flow to you. And their meaning to your existence will come into picture. Like Parveen was talking about all free will and everything, right? The more self-awareness starts coming, then you will feel not to choose any path as such, because you're good with whatever path you are in. Or maybe you have free will to choose path also. Maybe it just depends. So You feel so connected with yourself, and lesser number of yeah, lesser and lesser number of bad events or even events happen, reaction to those will be very limited. And you'll try to see so much positive in everybody. Mostly, you'll start seeing positive things about yourself, and you're willing to correct yourself based on your self awareness. So, because the external world is a mirror of internal world, you'll see a lot of changes in others, and you will start appreciating people more and more. So, all of these happen if you become self aware. Will this happen overnight? Definitely not. I think probably it will start happening when you are reaching near 50. Okay. That's as per the age criteria which the psychologists talk about. 45 to 55 is the time when you are thinking about self-awareness. What did I do in my life? Whether that is right or wrong. And you could have chosen any different thing or not. How can you make yourself happy? All this stuff will start coming in that area, in that timeline. And so it is like, then what exactly is this self-awareness? How does it come to anyone? We all know that, of course, there is self-awareness. Can you just give me one example of yours about getting a self-awareness?
Probably the environment will sort of, motivate you to find out more. What is it there, out there, everybody's talking about. If you're in that kind of environment, you also become like one. So you will start.
Environment is definitely the one which will make you be self-aware. Okay, you're right. My question is, give me an example how you got the self-awareness. Just 1 second, Neha. Wait. Anna has raised a hand.
Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it could be a challenging situation that you're faced with, and that makes you, look inward. So it could be an accident where you cannot move out, and you start having more time to yourself. You're stuck in one place, and then yeah, and for me it happened that way. I had a knee injury, and yeah, so I think that was, and a lot of things happened during that time. So that's when it actually started. And a lot of things, the universe also was conspiring. Somebody sent me hypnotherapy, do this, do that. It all happened during that time. I don't know why it didn't come before that. So it
Yes.
was all conspired.
So when we are, see, opposite of self-awareness is ego. Okay? Ego is not bad at all. Ego is something which is there for protecting us and giving us a boundary about who we are. And ego is a belief, actually. It's very illusion, okay, about who we are. Now, if you have that ego, self-awareness won't come into picture. That's again as a protective measure. Okay, so I'll explain you that little later. Now let's see an example of self-awareness. So, I remember when I was working, my boss or my manager one day telling me, it's not at all bad what he said. I'm just giving an example, how it comes. Telling me that he was actually a Tamilian non-Brahmin who won't eat meat one bit also. But when he was studying in BITS Pilani, he said every day he went out and had roasted chicken every day. Okay? And his father would call him up and say, don't eat all that stuff, etc. And he said, who the hell cares? I like it, I will eat it. And he said after the 2 years of studies, one day when he was sitting there and eating, suddenly he felt a little bit of, what am I doing to this chicken? And it's such a strong feeling for him that he couldn't eat it anymore. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that it's bad to eat chicken or any of that. What I'm saying is, this is how suddenly the self-awareness comes to anybody. Okay? So you are fighting with somebody, and then you kind of throw things at them. You say that this is what you are, blah, 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 everything. And because of which this person leaves you and go away. Now, at the end of it, you'll think that, oh, damn, I shouldn't have said that. I lost this person. This is a self-awareness about what you did. Okay? Now, if a person is thinking that I don't have any friends at all, nobody is, very connecting with me, and then it's so difficult for me to talk to people and everything. So let's assume that this person is talking to a sister or somebody. And when this sister is explaining something, in the middle, this person keeps on butting in, cutting that thing and giving their idea. Immediately, the sister screams and says, do you know why you don't have any friends? Because you don't listen to anybody. So suddenly, this person gets this, oh my gosh, I don't listen to people. This is how the self-awareness comes. As Anna said, it's mostly during the time of something which is, accident or a moment, is when the self-awareness suddenly comes in. Okay? So they are not necessarily be the story moments of the spiritual growth. It's like enlightenment. It's not like that. But it is the truth of us. And the more of these self-awareness you get, the more you'll start becoming better in your life, and the more solution you'll find for your problems. Okay? Everything, whatever is happening in our life, we are either thinking, I don't know why. Okay? Or we are saying, this person is a problem for my problem. It is never us. Why? Because I don't have self-awareness of it. But when you observe, slowly go deeper and connect yourself in every one of those situations where you feel something, and you ask yourself that question, why is like this? You will start getting that little bit of things to know why that is happening to you. And the reason will be you only. And that is what is self-awareness. Why it is difficult for all of us to get the self-awareness easily? We are all meant to have self-awareness actually easy. First we create all the problem and then we get the self-awareness. Why? Why can't we directly have that? The thing is, the ego, the illusion of me, comes in between. And opening yourself to the self-awareness means hurting your ego. If somebody tells you that you are a very bad communicating person, it's very saddening for me. So I don't want to have self-awareness at all about it. I will continue to be in this problem forever. Isn't it? And I don't want to have, I don't want to feel bad. I don't want to put myself in bad books of others. So many things is there about me which is related to my ego. So I will never want this self-awareness to come close to me. But as a consequence, what happens? We continue to get stuck who we are, which is not working out for us. Just 1 second, Navina, tell me.
No, actually, I think I should have put my hand on. I wanted to share the story, that time I raised my hand.
Okay,
So,
now what do you want to do? You want to share it?
yeah, I can share it. So for me, it was like I was going through a tough phase in my life, and I met a person, in some workshop, and happened to chat with him, and he said, on the on my face, he said, actually, you don't have clarity in your life. You are absolutely a confused person. You don't know this. You don't know blah blah blah. Continue. And I was like absolutely blank. What is this person saying? And I don't know him much at that point of time. And then this journey of all this healing, counseling started, and it all came one by one. Like that was the first day somebody said so point blank. So when people tell, and I felt in my life that probably I was very biased to certain people. Maybe some people also gave some feedback, similar feedback earlier, but I couldn't take it. But that day, probably either I was very ready to take it, or it came from a person whom I wasn't biased enough. So that started my journey of self-awareness. Although it's a long, and when people say, and even, when, as Anna rightly said, that, in the tough times, or when we are, in a place where, we are thrown with questions, then, sometimes it's the ego which doesn't want to accept to protect ourselves. But at times, if you're able to accept even 1% of it, then, that self-awareness is Lord. Like, why is this small ache also happening? What is the brilliance, or what is this? So many questions come up. So that is all.
Anna wanted to say something.
I was going to say, you said something now that when somebody criticizes you, your ego doesn't allow you to excel. Sometimes we may stop talking to that person and go on with life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we won't even want to take that self awareness anymore. So that means to say I will avoid that person forever, and I will still be with whatever I'm thinking. I'm going to go with that. That means whatever I'm thinking about myself is creating some kind of a pattern in my life, or behavior of me in my life, and I'll accept that. Why? Because I can't take that. I can't take the awareness and get out of it.
But
That
Ishanya,
means I'm
why
not
this
ready.
learning always comes at a later age? I may have these patterns again and again when I'm younger, but it's only at
Yeah.
45 that it,
Yeah, that is because we need to be reckless to actually grow and evolve. When we evolve, life evolves. So the if you observe nature, when you are in 20s, it's extremely important to reproduce. And for that, nature makes us very dumb. So if you have all of this self-awareness and so many things, no, nature cannot evolve. So you have to be reckless. You have to be taking risks a lot without even thinking. And you have to commit mistakes. All of this should happen for life to move. So at a later stage, after finishing all the mistakes, comes the self, awareness of what you did, what you didn't do it. Yeah, that's how it is. Neha, unmute.
For me, it was when I was very young, and I was like, did whatever by my choice. And then the realization came that you have to live with your consequences. And I was very, very, very frustrated at that point of time. I was as if I'm against a wall, edge, absolute edge. That is when I started looking at self awareness. That's the first time I did a self awareness course. And that's how my journey in this field started. Still at it, but that's how I started. When I
Absolutely.
was really at the age where almost I wanted to disappear.
Mhm. So related to that, I'll tell you something.
Mhm.
Why again at that age we don't want the self-awareness? I'll just give an example. Let's assume this is social media, Instagram or your Facebook or whatever. And then you see all amazing life of other people. Their photos you see, wow, everything is nice. They're going to this place, they're going there. And so beautiful, world is so beautiful, except my world. Okay, so you feel that what the hell is happening? Entire world is so beautiful. I seem like a loser. Okay. Now, the very fact that you're thinking there is some little bit of low self-esteem with you. Otherwise, you would naturally think that, hey, this is all photo. Plus, I can also go. I've also gone and I've also put up that kind of reels. And I know my life is, isn't it? But when that hits you, that I am feeling low, that means I have low esteem issues. it makes you even more low. Right? Forget about those photos. You will feel, oh my gosh, I'm always like this, low. So it just pushes you even more low, even more low. And the more you realize it, the more low you feel. So that is why we avoid having any awareness. Consciously, we avoid any awareness. So what this person would want to think, I also want to go to the holiday like this and put up a reel. So go, probably scream at all the people that we should go for a holiday, and then we never go for a holiday. So there's one big hangama in the house, and it just goes in a wrong direction. Why? Because you don't want to address your low esteem. So this is how we do not want to take up the self-awareness. That is why all the teenagers and young people, always they're blaming others. They don't want to address themselves. It's always that person is very bad, this person is very bad, I'm not given an opportunity. Everywhere it's always like that. Until the self-awareness comes that I can get out of it. It's in my hands. The more I realize it, what is it for me, that is when I get out of that. Okay, I'll give an example. One of my friends who is very, very, very careful about money and everything, lost a big amount. And then she kept thinking that, how did I become such a fool? Why I didn't check this? Why? It's a constant blame of why I didn't do this. Okay? So I was just talking, comforting, it's all right, it could have happened to everybody, etc. She just kept thinking like this, and she said, you know what? I think it is my deeper fear of losing money, deeper fear of not having money is actually triggered, and I fell into the trap. The other person was making her feel that they lost money. And so she immediately wanted to help, and that went for a toss. So the realizations are like that. However careful you are, sometimes it is so very well orchestrated that you get your self-awareness. And once the self-awareness comes, you are changed for your life. Related to that aspect, of course. Okay? So we realized how we get the self-awareness. They just come suddenly. That means to say self-awareness is inevitable. You can't, it's not like a course I will go, now I will learn to be self-aware. It's not like that. Of course, there are courses which will make you more mindful, everything. But then self-awareness, whether you want or not, it'll come. You just wait for 45 and above. That's what we can say. Okay. And when it comes, you better act mature as 45. Take it and understand, and then change yourself. That's the tip probably we can tell people, right? So otherwise, this self-awareness can put you in misery, or it can make you avoid it, or it can be beautiful too. The soul level self-awareness, which Paula talked about, usually gives you this aha moment. The materialistic self-awareness usually puts you down and make you like, it gives you one hit on your face, and then you'll think that, oh shit, what has happened now? Okay, fine. How do I just understand this? Okay. Now, if you're not self-aware, if you're not trying to understand, which is repeatedly happening to you, then it might manifest in body aches and pains. Okay. Now, when it comes to the body, it's slightly difficult to understand, but there are lots and lots of books and related to chakras and etc. Definitely, you can take help and Try to understand what is the indication it is giving it to me. Like on illnesses also you have, diseases also, metaphysical reasons you have. So all that will start giving you some indication of where is that you should look at. Now, is that self-awareness? No. It'll point you at, okay, look at this. Meaning like knee pain is about inflexibility in life. Okay, now you'll start thinking, where am I not flexible? Where I become very rigid? Then something will come to you. That is self-awareness. But self-awareness can come only when you retrospect. No. That means to say you should have some time in a day. If you're too busy doing some things, you're avoiding something. If you're, let's say, bad behaviors and addictions, you're definitely avoiding the self-awareness of something. If you just give time, that will occur to you. Or there are lots of books you can read, and especially during this age of 45 to 55, the more books you read, the more self-awareness starts coming. The more workshops you attend, the more self-awareness starts coming. That's what it makes a lot of changes in your life. It's very natural. Okay? So today let's ask a bit of questions and understand whatever possible. As I said, there is no course where we sit and get the self-awareness. This will only make you retrospect later so that some amount of self-awareness starts coming. Okay? So answer these questions. So the first set of questions I'm asking is to write about your self, which you feel deeply connected. That's all. For example, write one genuine feeling or emotions usually you have, which is really genuine. Just think about yesterday or something, then you may get a clue. Or usually what you are. Usually, you feel like crying when someone is crying. That's usually my pattern. If you say, okay, write that. Something like that, which is a very genuine feeling and emotions for you. Okay, second one is write one belief which you feel it's still there with you. I know every now and then, every workshop we have worked on beliefs. So now, by now, you would have by-hearted all your beliefs. Whether you have left it or not, you remember it. But there will be one which you still feel is there with you. Third one is, do you have any biases in your mind? Something like, it's all come from the society or your environment. But then, genuinely, you feel people who are fair-skinned. It's a bias, right?
Yes.
You know that you shouldn't do, everybody is same, everything, but still there is something. And maybe you end up buying fairness creams. Why do you buy it when you don't have bias? Of course, I want to look good. Okay, of course. There is some bias. So something like that. What do you have a bias? Towards somebody or towards something? Then, the next one is, what is your style of interaction with others? Are you a quiet person? Or you go forward and talk? If you want to talk with who, which kind of people you would like to talk? Basically how you want to interact with others. This also will tell you how you were earlier and how you've changed. They kind of give you that self-awareness. What might have changed and things like that. Write one habit you have and you are aware of it. Or if you're not aware of it, something which you classify as a habit. And also write, why do you have that habit? You will definitely find the reason why. And when you find the reason why, it's as simple as change that reason. Find an alternative for it. Then the habit goes away. Unless you really want to keep the habit with you, then we can't do anything. How do you wish to be perceived as? Do you want to be perceived as a very kind person? She's very giver. She's amazing. She's beautiful. She's talented. She's that. She's this. Several more are there. What is that you would like to be perceived as? No one is going to read your book, so you can just safely write whatever you want. Okay? Then you write, what is your one worst fear and why?
Only one word, worst fear?
You have many?
Maybe they're all connected, but yeah.
But the moment you're saying maybe they're all connected, already you are getting the self-awareness. One conflict you have. Conflict is basically being hypocrite, you know. Is that right or is this right? Is that wrong or is this wrong? That's conflict. Which are the scenarios or situation where you're mostly self-aware? For me, when I'm taking bath, I realize why. Because I have a lot of time at that time for myself. Some people, I'm sure, when they're cooking, they'll get that. When you are able to retrospect, that is when it comes. Some people may get when they're doing meditation. Again, they're giving time for themselves. So you'll also realize that how much time you don't give it to yourself. And is that possible for you to increase so that you get more self-awareness? It's like that. Okay, the next set of questions will be, it's more of retrospecting the past so that we get some awareness. Okay? So write down, have you spoken or done something to others, offending them, which has created problem in your life? It may not be true now. Maybe it happened long time back. If it is long time back it happened, how long time back you write down? And you know how much you've changed.
So have I spoken something that has hurt other people?
Yeah, or done also, which has offended others. Just think about what is that which offended them. then you'll know how you could have done it differently. See, you know what you have done, so you don't have to write a big essay on that, just write briefly, that's enough. Have you done a mistake and have you been doing it again and again? If you have the self-awareness, you will definitely get it and you will write it down. If you do not have, then observe one pattern in your life which is a problem for you. Is it easy for you to identify what you're feeling and thinking? This tells you how self-aware you are. Or you don't want to think what you are feeling. Then it's hiding. You don't want to address it. So, related to this, next time when you are in a bad situation, you are angry or you're sad, one of those. At that time, just get in touch with which part of me is actually angry and why. Or which part of me is actually sad, why. Basically, it will take you to a inner child work. And that is, this thing is nothing but shadow work. Okay? Do you have trouble in identifying your needs and desires? So before that, maybe we should try what is your need and one desire. And then you write, is it possible for you to identify needs and desires? Or have you given up? Anyway, I don't get, why should I even think like that? Or I get everything I want. Even whatever you want, even if you're getting that, there is something called desire. Desire is a motivation factor for the human beings to grow. So it always changes. Once you get it, something else will come. If you're not having the desire at all, that means you are ready to die. What I'm trying to say is there has to be a desire to make, maybe it's just a dream, it may not come true. Or you have given up. Or you are been following the Buddhism where it says that no need to have any desire. Okay? Now again, that is a programmed one, isn't it? It's programmed. Having desire is probably, that is also kind of programmed because otherwise it will fall into the category of needs and wants. Once you have all the needs and wants met, then comes the desire. But if the Eastern philosophy is very high, then you don't have to have desires. What the universe will give is the best for you, will keep it. If you have a capitalism kind of a philosophy, then you will have to have desire so the society can grow. Both are two faces, both are okay. Don't now consider which philosophy you belong to, but just write if you have a desire, whether you have it. Now,
I can't figure out this conflict.
oh, you're stuck in the conflict section?
I have moved on. I've written everything else, but I haven't put anything there.
You may not have any conflict too. Never know. That's okay. Or suddenly it will pop up after 2 days. Then you think, okay? It's all right not to write any answer. It's okay. Now, do you have one behavior which is impulsive? Just write it down because next time you know that you will be aware of it and you don't do it. every impulsive action can be slowly acted upon. Can be done.
Eating.
Yeah,
But
Anna?
what if they are fun things?
Once again, Anna, what is that you said?
I said eating unnecessarily.
Eating unnecessary?
Yeah, it is an impulsive
Yeah.
habit of
But
mine.
behind that, why are you eating like that? Are you bored? Or do you feel like, why should you eat popcorn every time when you're in a movie? It's programmed, isn't it? It's exactly programmed. Maybe your father, your mother told you that, and maybe you like that the caramel popcorn. So every time you want to make sure that you eat that. So there'll be something. That is a self-awareness you should get. Every action you do, it should be with self-awareness. Don't do it in autopilot way. Because whenever you're doing autopilot way, there are chances that mistakes happen, which you'll regret later. But with self-awareness, when you do it, there is nothing to regret. You want to eat popcorn, you eat it. But have the reason why are you eating it. It's like that. Then, so, are you surprised about some people commenting about you? Meaning, some perception they will tell you, which is very alien to you. That means whatever that they're telling you you are is not matching up with your idea of who you are. It's actually self-awareness of who you actually are. And the ego is stopping it, camouflaging it, and it's telling you that you are not that. And that perception of what they're telling you is good. Our ego will bloat little more now. That also get added into our ego, a boundary, and we think, oh, now this also I am. But if they tell you something which is not nice, you will scratch out or put them in the high top of the list of your blacklist. And you would never want to talk to them anymore. And you think that what a fool. He or she thinks like that about me. His level is too low. His consciousness is very low. So it's like that. Okay. So these are the questions. Okay. There could be many, many more. Every moment is a awareness level actually. Like, if you want to go to the spiritual level, you will see that what are my thoughts, what are usually my emotions are, and who am I is the biggest spiritual question. That is also part of the awareness, but that's at a little different level. We don't have to think, let it arrive. Do you think who am I question will suddenly arrive to you? Never. It will never arrive to you unless you sit and ponder upon. And when you ponder upon, do you think the answer what you get is the right one, the truth one, the real one? No, that's also not true because we cannot operate out of our ego. It's impossible. Ego will die when you die. So we cannot definitely understand who I am. Now, how do I understand who I am? Through my actions or what other people tell me. Now, this one person telling, no, that's wrong. You have to hear from multiple of people and then collate together, and probably that is the closest version of who you are. But do you think you will go and ask everyone else? We will never ask. I don't want to know who I am. I'm okay with whatever I think I am. That's what we are. Okay. But that also works. Fine then. Let us be with this. Now, what are the things which probably you can do to do so that you understand a little better, feel peaceful in your heart, etc. Is one is definitely meditation. You know it very well, correct? And one of the biggest thing which you can be aware of is tuning to your body. Okay, take help of different books and other things which will talk about metaphysical reasons and aches and pains of the body in different places means what. Radical is one of the most wonderful thing which will talk through the body and everything. So that will give you fantastic idea about what's happening to you, which is beyond your ego. Basically, you need to believe your body. That's a different question. But then body will tell you exactly what is happening to you. And it will bypass your ego. So that is the topmost thing for you to be aware, is to read your body. Okay? The second topmost is asking somebody, can you tell me your opinion about me? Now, the question itself is very scary. Okay? So you will probably choose somebody with whom you're okay to expose yourself with the true identity or the perception of the truth. You're okay. Okay? Maybe your close friend, or maybe even your spouse. Because you have already fought so much that you don't mind fighting some more. Or you don't take them seriously, let them say whatever they want. I am okay. So it could be anybody like that. But facing this, somebody who is truthful also, not, knowing somebody who wants to put you down, if you go ask them, it's like they will take you for a ride. Don't do that.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just asking.
Ask.
From what I see around me, spouses are already pre-programmed, too judgmental.
Okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
With that idea in your head that they're judgmental, now that's your armor. Actually, you're already putting the armor around you that anyway they're judgmental. No. So I will take it with a pinch of salt. Okay, fine. Now I will ask. And now you can do it. If they tell you something good, you say that no, they're not judgmental. They're very nice. But if they say something you don't like, you say, yeah, I knew it anyway, judgmental. So it works for you, don't worry. But whatever they tell you, think about it. There
No,
will
but
be some
yeah,
little bit
but
of
even
truth.
when we do hypnotherapy and all, the
Huh.
first thing they tell you is do not try to hypnotize your spouse or your very close somebody, because they are already in judgment, or they are too close. They don't want to be in that state with you.
Doesn't matter.
Resistant.
I am not going to lose anything by asking them some few questions like an interview about yourself. It's up to you whether you want to take it or not. No, that's the beauty of it, right? I can just rubbish it off and throw it, or I can think about it. It's up to you. Nobody is going to tell you, Neha, you have to believe what they tell you. No. It's only to figure out a little more. Or, okay, let's say it this way. At least you will know what they're thinking about you, no? Even that. And then, when you're thinking, why are they telling me like this? Maybe whatever they told is not truth. But the very thought they thought like that, there is a story behind it. Maybe you should think about that. Why did they tell me this? What did I do in one situation? Oh, maybe I did like this. If I change this particular pattern, do I think that they will change a bit? It is worth thinking this. As I said, nobody will punish you whether you take it or not. But it's worth it. It's quite interesting also to write your own image, knowing from different 4-5 other people. It's very interesting actually. But I was thinking about myself. Can I go ask this person, what do you think about me? What are my negatives? Can you tell me my negatives? No, I couldn't do that. And I decided I don't want to hear the negatives from anybody. I'm okay. Day has not come yet where I can go ask people, tell me my negatives. Now you can also choose that, Neha. But it's okay. If you really want to ask, go ask somebody with whom you're okay to talk about your negatives. Okay? But this requires a lot of guts. Really, I'm telling you, it requires a lot of guts. And that is why sometimes we classify some of the therapists as very bad therapists, because they tell it on our face. But this is how it is. Maybe we should think, How about not reacting about it and just think about it? Why did they tell me like this? And that is when you get your self-awareness. Of course, you can become mindful and meditation. Mindful is every moment you are being aware of what you're doing and then choose to do it. For example, I remember my father used to tell me whenever we are raising the window, right, in the car, he would, no, not raising the window, locking. You know, in the old car, everybody should lock their own lock, right? So he would tell me, with awareness, you lock it. You want to lock, so you lock. Not autopilot, you enter in and lock. Don't do that. He used to tell me. Why? Because maybe there is a thing that you should not lock so that you can get away fast. So you be aware of what you want to do. And because you want to do it, you do it. Not just autopilot. I have to do it anyway, so I'm doing it. Then a lot of things you will miss it and it may create a problem. It's okay to do everything what you're doing, but be awareness. This is mindful. That's all. Meditation is, it'll help you to understand. It's like the difference between awareness and understanding is, awareness is, I am scared of fire. Understanding is, because that day I got burnt and it pained me so much, that is why I am scared of fire. This is awareness and this is understanding. Right? So meditation gives you this understanding of the awareness you have. And that is why it is important to do meditations also. Okay? Then journaling also helps you. You know, that is why we repeatedly say, why don't you journal? Journal the good and the bad both.
Yeah, but
Okay?
I'm very weak with journaling.
What is that you said? You are very?
Weak with journaling. I mean,
It's
I
okay.
just don't get down to it.
It's like keep one time specifically for journaling, maybe 5 minutes of a day, and then journal it. My pattern of journaling is when I do something, when I get excited and enthusiastic, I'll quickly do the journaling, but not every day. But even that is okay. Even that is okay. But when you put everything down on the paper, pen to paper is what we say, that is when the lot of retrospection happens because it comes from the subconscious mind. Okay? And what do you dislike with others? That's when you start retrospecting. That's exactly the shadow work. You will realize all of those you have. So forget about what you have, but just write. We can very easily write this. What do you dislike about others? And then comes the retrospection. So we will get a lot of awareness of what's happening within us and read books, attend workshops, and do all of that to get more and more self-awareness. Okay. Ritika, you can share now. After that, we will close the meeting today. Ritika wants to share something. Do you want to share something? Ah, she's unable to open the mic. Maybe you can type. Okay. She wants to join back in a minute. And then she will talk. Meanwhile, you can all talk. I'm done with whatever today. But the more you become self-aware, you are spiritually growing. No doubt about it. And the more you are tolerant about yourself, and if you are tolerant about yourself, naturally you are tolerant with others too. And that means your relationships will work. So self-awareness is the goal for being who we are. And also once you get the awareness, you have to change yourself. Yeah? Yes, tell me.
Hi, I was unable to open my mic. Sorry. I just wanted to share my journey of self-awareness. I think for me also it started with food, like how you mentioned about that guy. So when I was studying outside and all my life I never learned how to cook. That's a whole other story to itself. But I would make omelets on Sundays, and that used to be my favorite thing because I thought I did it extremely well. I would load it with jalapenos and olives and make it really flavorful, and that used to be my Sunday brunch, and I used to be very proud about it. 3 months into that, every Sunday breakfast. One day I just broke the egg and I don't know what happened to me. There was a sudden sense of so much disgust that filled me. I said, ew, what am I eating? This actually stinks. And because I've always been a conscious consumer, I didn't like to waste food. So I went ahead and cooked that omelette. And that was the last day I ever ate eggs. And that I think was where it started soon. And it's so beautiful how I think life teaches us, gives us all these hints and links. And, there's a beautiful journey because I was an arts journalism student. And as an elective, I took a fashion class. And in that fashion class, we had to write a paper, and the teacher kept it open. You can write about whatever you want to write on. And around that time, a video on Facebook popped up about how luxury bags are made. Okay, so they are made with ostrich and crocodile skin, and it was gruesome, that video. And so I decided to do a paper on vegan fashion or cruelty-free fashion. So that happened, and then soon after that, there's just so much self-awareness because I feel like a lot of it starts with what we put into our bodies, including thoughts, of course. So then I was like, okay, whose milk am I drinking? Am I a baby or am I a cow? Why am I drinking this milk? Only mothers make milk for their babies, not for anyone else. So it's been amazing to the extent that now I'm so grateful to this journey, to this healing, to everything, to my whole foods plant-based lifestyle, which helps people not only prevent but also reverse chronic diseases like hypertension, diabetes, cancer even. It's been so amazing that now I can, even if I put something that has not been grown organically, say a sitafal or a mango, I can tell that this has chemicals in it. This is not organic or this is not pure. So it's been an amazing journey. And I feel like, of course, my yoga, my meditation, your sessions, all of that have been amazing. And even journaling, I do something called morning pages. I used to always just write 2 lines, okay, I journaled enough since school. But in the past 1.5 years, there's another book that I read called The Artist's Way. And they talked about just getting up and writing 3 pages, whatever you feel like, until the pen stops, you just write. And oh my God, it has just changed my life so much. Like, even if you feel like, oh, this is such a stupid exercise, this is so boring, oh, the maid hasn't come yet, just keep writing till you complete 3 pages. I have seen improvement in my dancing because of it. And I have not trained, like, there's no training that has gone into it. I've just become a better dancer because there has been so much clarity in my thought because of those morning pages. So I feel like self-awareness is amazing. And I feel like we can all start with what are we really putting into our mouth? Even everything, because I feel like there's so, like, the marketing is so good that they'll sell anything to us. Like, there's no tomatoes in the tomato ketchup we're eating. There's no mango in the.
Exactly what
So
it
it's
is when they say
amazing.
ego is
Yeah.
actually, we have bought all the marketing stuff.
Yes.
And that's what is our ego. That's a perception, which is not reality. And we have
Yeah.
to break that. That
For
is
sure. For sure. Including,
yeah.
I just want to finish
Yeah.
it, including the vaccination. When it came out, everyone was like, oh, let's go take it, let's go take it. And I was just like, what is this? What is it going to do to my body and things like that? So I didn't take it. And like, now we know that there are so many side effects and things like that. So it's just about, really not buying into what the whole world is kind of selling to us, and just think, what is this? What does it have? What is it going to do to me? And a lot of it comes from fighting the idea of, oh, everyone is doing it. Oh, it's only so much. Oh, it's only, this much. But truly, I feel like it's all of that kind of crowds our thoughts also. So just being chemically free, being processed food free, being oil free, I'm just so grateful for this life. Been an amazing journey.
Wonderful. Related to this, what I want to tell you is, as your self-awareness starts growing, one thing will happen, that you realize that you are connected to everything else. Even your thoughts, like how she said that just writing 3 pages in the morning has made her a better dancer. They're not connected or illogically connected, right? But that's how it is. At some level, you realize that one action of yours, which is nowhere connected to some other action, can change that. So the same way, when you change, you're changing the world. At the how effectively you're changing, like I changed something here, so Israeli war changes. No, I don't know about that. But I'm sure it will put one trickle there. That's my idea, right? So the mass belief and understanding, they may be taking you in a wrong direction. And maybe it's very tough to swim against that mass. But it's only a matter of time. And you don't even have to expect that the mass changes to your direction. Why? Let's just only think about ourselves. With our own self-awareness, what can I contribute to myself? And that's the only best way. We don't need to change the whole world. Let everybody in that world change. It's good. But I can do only for myself. Yeah, Navina?
Yeah, I just want to congratulate Ritika, and thank you so much for sharing your experience, because I think all of us benefited from it and got lot of tips. At least I got lot of tips. I don't know how much I'll implement, but at least a seed has gone within from your sharing and
That's
added
exactly
to
the
what
point,
Isha.
Navina. If it is
Yeah,
self-awareness, it comes within you and it's a full shift. If
yeah,
you're hearing from someone else, until it becomes self-awareness, you may not do. That's how it is.
right. Right. But even the thought, the shifts, like your own journey
Yeah,
is
yeah.
definitely very inspiring and motivational. And kudos to you and hats off to you that you're able to make this change and share it with us, all of us. So thank you so much. And thank you, Isha, again for this wonderful platform. Every time it
Thank you.
gives us it gives us a spark within. And I'm sure, it's like, even though I don't realize that what has gone within, like what seed, but the seeds are sown subconsciously, whether you hear it very mindfully or sometimes unawarely. But I think every seed has its own impact and it will grow and become a tree
It
someday.
will.
So,
It will. And it's not that I'm so glad I'm doing this. I'm not telling you any of that. It's many of my clients, when they're talking, that day you told me like that, and I have that in my mind, then I'll think that, oh my God, every word and sentence I better talk properly, because they seem to be remembering it. Right? So every time when I hold these sessions, I tell myself that my inner self, please get guided and talk proper things. That's how it has been. It's been a journey for me also. It's just opened up a lot of things for me, a lot of awareness and it's such a beautiful journey, sharing with everybody.
Ritika,
Okay.
I just want to say,
Yeah, Ritika.
sorry, someone else saying
No,
something.
no. You
yeah,
say
you'll put
Shiraz.
the name of the book on the group, please.
Which book?
Put name of the book on the group. The one which this writing 3 pages every morning.
So that book, yeah, sure, I will. It's for artists. It's called Artist's Way, but of course anyone can read it. I'll share it with you.
Yeah, just put it. Thank you so much.
You're
Thank you.
most welcome. Also, Navina, I just wanted to say that I'm truly very glad, and it's been the best decision of my life. And here, if anyone wants to implement any of those changes, feel free to connect with me. I'll be more than happy to help.
Yeah,
It
Ritika,
also helps with like reversal of diseases and stuff like that. It's been absolutely mind blowing. Trust me, the world is more beautiful when we go chemical free.
Thank you, Ritika. You're doing
Most
amazing
welcome.
work.
Thank you.
Okay, all of you, we are done for today and take care and let's see you next week. Bye. By the way, next week
Bye.
I'll be
Thank
traveling,
you.
so I don't know whether I'll hold it or not. Depends on my mood. Okay? Take care, all of you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.